Welcome back in my journey to learning data analysis. So today we are going to be explaining cell referencing in Excel. So before we go further, we have three types of cell reference in Excel. We have relative, absolute, and mixed reference. So I will explain briefly before we go to the example. So briefly, what relative reference means. In using relative reference, it helps you to change automatically when you drag the formulas. By default, this is what Excel has. And when you drag down the formula, it automatically changes with the cell reference. So that is relative. Anytime you drag in Excel, you are doing relative reference. So our absolute reference, what this one does is that it helps to lock a particular cell. It stays fixed when you use a dollar sign. Here you use a dollar sign to lock a column or a row that you want to reference so that it will not be changed whenever you are dragging or moving to another cell. So absolute is used to lock for a fixed value. It's used to lock that value. When we do example, you understand better. The way we talk about mixed reference combines relative and absolute reference together. So without much ado, I want to explain here. So let's explain relative reference. So in this place, so I'm just trying to remove the word wrap I used so that everything will just look simple. Coming. Good. So this is the table we are going to use to reference our cell relatively. So in relative reference, it's just like a normal multiplication, normal multiplying cell by column and all of that. So look at, if for us to get the price or total amount of items sold, let me just put total here. So we are going to be getting the formulas. All we need is just equal to this times this. We'll get our answer. This is 20 to get the total. So we want to reference relatively. What we're going to do now is to drag. Once you drag, you see that the formula this formula here is referencing this cell and this cell. The same applies to this. So when I dragged down, it instead copy down the formula and reference the cells of the each row that has the figures and multiplying. So this is very simple. Relative is actually what we do by default in Excel. Now when it comes to absolute, absolute we're going to fix when we have a fixed amount of something we want to. Let me zoom in so that you see my formula very well. When you want to do a fixed amount, like you are going to know the tax rate on each item here, and the fixed tax rate here is 0.1. That is, you can convert it to percentage. This is actually 10%. So the 10% is what you are going to charge for selling any of this item. So since this amount here is fixed, since this 10% here is fixed, we are going to be using it to get the amount we are selling, or what we are going to sell, going to be taxed when we sell this item. So what I need to do is just to do equal to this cell times this. Now if I drag down here, if I drag down this this figure here, it's not going to give me, I can even get error because this amount here is referencing price, and this one is referencing 2 instead of 10, and here this formula is referencing price because I dragged down. So in order to avoid this error, what you're going to be using is absolute reference. What do I mean? In this place, I'm going to lock this particular column, this 10%, this B131. I'm going to lock it such that when I drag down, it will not be changed. Here I have B31. If I check here, I will have B32. And if I check here, I also have B33 because this absolute is not locked. So for us to reference this in all, we're going to we are going to we are going to lock it up. So locking it simply means putting a dollar sign. In some system, all you need to do is to press your alt 4, press your function key 4, F4, function F4. It will add the dollar sign to lock up the cell. So the first thing to do, let me redo it so that you understand what I did. You're going to highlight this formula, then press your function F4. It will automatically add the dollar sign in both the column reference and the row reference. That is in front of B and also in front of 131. So once you have done this, we press enter. We're still going to get the same figure. Now, but when the game will change is when I drag down now, you will see that I will have the right answer. Do you see it? So for every item I sell, for every book I sell, I'm going to be taxed 0.5 for selling it. So you can see the importance of absolute reference. If I check this thing, you see that he referenced the 5, he referenced 5 and 10. The same thing applies here. It referenced 20 and 10% because this young man here, the B31 has been locked. So even though I drag it to 100 rows, it remains the same. It will not be changed. So that is the importance of absolute referencing. You use it when you want to lock a particular cell that is constant in your calculation. All right, so that is that for absolute referencing. I hope this is clear. If you're getting value, like this video and also share. Also comment if you want me to do more detailed video on that. So now let's go to mixed referencing. Mixed reference is we are going to combine absolute and relative reference together. Pay attention. I will explain how this thing works so that when I start applying the formulas, it will be clear to you. Now look at this item. We have product 1 to 5 and this is the amount. So these are the sales rep, the commission they are going to get for selling any of these items. Excuse me. The commission they are going to get for selling any of these items. So if Tega sells product 1, she's going to get 10% of the money that is paid for selling this product. Which is normally the 10%, sorry, the 10% of 10,000 is 1,000. So we're going to use a calculation to get it. The same applies to John and also to Emma. Emma is going to be getting 30%. John is going to get 20% and Tega 10%. Now, in order for us not to, it's not that we can't calculate this differently, but mixed referencing can make the work very easy for us. So in this example, in this row 140, the commissions are in row 140 and the amount are in column B, column B. So we're going to be locking column B and also be locking row 140 for us to get the calculation, for us to do this calculation once. So this is what we're going to do. So let's go. So for Tega is going to get this cell times 10% times this 10%. Close the bracket and hit enter. Sorry. is the error. Okay, okay. I think there's an error in the formula. I didn't, there's no need for brackets. So that's it. You see, there's no need for the closing bracket I did. So you can see that I have gotten 10% here, which is 1000. If I drag this down, I'm not going to get the right answer because I did not lock 10%. I did not lock 10%. I did not lock 10%. So it's going to, if you check this place, this young man here is referencing Tega instead of 10%. And here is referencing Control Z. And here is referencing, this place is referencing 1000. You see it? So in order to avoid this error, what you're going to do is that you're going to lock 10%, 20%, and 30%. Also, how do I do it? I'll go back to my formula. I'll come in front of my 140. I told you before, 140 is constant. So I'm going to come to 140 and put my $sign. Then for this row, I'm going to lock my B because all the items are in column B. So I will lock B so that once I drag, every formula gives me the right answer and I close. Remember, this will still be correct. So for us to see the changes now, all I need to do is to drag down. You see the answer is correct. I don't need to type any other calculation, any other formula to do John and Emmanuel. All I need to do is just to drag. Because I have given the Excel the right formula to use. Once I drag down, I have gotten the answer. So for us to check if we are correct, if I click on this 1000, you see the reference. It referenced E140 and the product because I have locked the cell B here and I've also locked 140 because it's constant in this calculation. So that is the essence of a mixed reference. It makes work very easy if you know how to apply it. Know when to lock a cell, know when to lock a column, and you get your answer. I hope you learned something in this video. Sorry, the video is a bit long today, and I know you learned something. I will also, maybe in further, I'll still do multiplication table using mixed referencing so that you understand it for more better. So thank you very much for watching this video to the end. Don't forget to subscribe to my page and also follow me. Then let's learn more as we move further. Thank you very much. They have come to the end of the video. Follow me.